Hey, my name is Dr. Berg. I'm a professor at the University Alliance for SAP. I teach HANA classes, and I'm also a director of BI at ComeritLabs. Some of you guys might be aware I've written several books on SAP HANA, and today we're going to take a look at some of the HANA and the features of the HANA tool. So first of all, I'm now logged on to the admin console at the SAP HANA Studio, and we can take a look at some of the stuff that's here. So first of all, we have a set of tables. You notice there's many versions because my students, I teach them how to build this stuff. So first of all, we have some customer attribute tables, we have some product attribute tables, and then we have some sales tables. And I flagged one of those as large. So let's see what we mean by that. If I open up in data preview, it'll open up and show me the records to 200, but I'm more interested in analysis. So it tells me this table has year, month, date, customer number, order numbers, that's the key, and then items and products and unit of measures and some key figures. So if I drag across the order number, the key here, and just do a simple count, you'll notice that I can count, I can sort, and so forth. In this case, we're just counting. So when we're counting this one, you will see that I have a little over 1.2 billion rows in here in the table. So quite a bit of data. So let's see how this is working. This was loaded using data services, but it could be loaded pretty much using anything. So once the data is in here, and I got my people have loaded a bunch of tables and so forth, I've gone in and started doing some development work. So let's see. First of all, we have created some attribute views because we want to take a look at the products. So if I go in now and take a look at the products here, you will see that I can see all the data that's in that. Let's click on that view here and see what it looks like. It says right now we have a view based on the single table. The data foundation is just a single table here. And in the table, well, these are the fields available. Product, product name, product category, and so forth. All this stuff is available to me. Now, I didn't want to display all that. Maybe I want to keep price secret. So in this case, we have chosen not to make price available. So we haven't made that at all. We could have added it to the output by right-clicking, and they would have shown up here in the view. That means anyone querying on top of that table would have seen that, including business object users, or if you want to use BioExplorer or any other front-end tool, you could see that what's in the table. So the common way of accessing HANA is actually through views. So first of all, we have these attribute views. In this case, we just listed some products. We also created a little bit more advanced view here. Here we have a customer view. And in this customer view, we've gone a little further. So what we've done here is we have linked it into short text for country, we have added languages, and we joined it to other tables. We also added a little filter here, you see. So in this case, we have filtered based on the valid to from dates, but we don't display them. So this allows us to create pretty complex links of setting things together. So here we have all the stuff that's available to an end user, and we can kind of see what they have. So in this case, we have three tables: customer attributes, and then we have some demographic data and custom and name data as well. So that takes care of customers and products. There's also another type of view. In this case, we're looking at an analytical view. In the sales analytical view, what we have done here is we have joined the customers, the products, and we have joined the customer attribute view and the products attribute view. And as you see, they could consist of many tables. And we linked it to that large table. So let's take a look. So inside here, we have a table which has all the customer data, including these things that came from multiple tables. We have a data foundation, which is really the transactional data, the sales orders and all the links and joins. And then we linked it also to the products. For you guys who are working who are used to working with star schemas, you now quickly recognize this. What you have here is a mini star schema. 2 dimensions and a fact table. And from that fact table, we can then add our own calculations. We can do all sorts of things. Like you notice in this case, we have added our own net revenue calculations. So let's take a look at that. In the net revenue calculations down here, we have created our own little formula inside here. So we basically created some simple calculation, take net revenues, product revenue minus cost. We can also restrict the columns, so we can have input parameters, and you can go build quite a bit of stuff in these views. And then you can choose what you want to display. So anything you see the yellow line is what people would see. So what that really means, it means that people can build, you can take your BW schemas, and you can take your schemas inside HANA, and you create, first of all, a set of tables. Then you create a semantic layer with attribute views, analytical views. There's even calculation views where you can add complex calculation and scripting. And then you expose these views to the end users, which kind of renders, long term, that renders the idea of a star schema, a physically developed star schema with data loaded to it, like we have in traditional data warehouses, snowflakes, star schemas, and extended star schemas in BW, that pretty much becomes a thing of the past because we can model our own stuff. That's not to say that InfoCubes are dead yet. It just means that we can do this semantically. We do not have to move data around anymore. Now, once you have done this sort of work, and you got this data modeled and set up inside the HANA system, then you can go to the front end side. And in the front end side, you can go out here and you can pick up things like here we have BioExplorer. So BioExplorer in this case is just picking up this view, and then we see everything that's in that view, and people can run it in BioExplorer. And for those who are interested in seeing that, if you go out on YouTube and search my name, Dr. Berg, demo, 1.2 billion rows, you should find that demo that shows you how that works in detail. Anyway, so hopefully this helps you demystify some of the work that is required in order to build HANA systems. I'll give you a nice little tour very quickly, getting your arms around attribute views, calculation views, and HANA tables. We have another cool feature I want to show you. So if you noticed in this case, we had all these tables sitting up here. What we also have ability to do now is create virtual tables. So we can create a new table. It's pretty straightforward. We go into the table and it says, do you want to create a table? And I can then add a name like table name, Berg's customer data. And I can pick it as a column store, which is then optimized for things that is going to be stored for reporting purposes. If I want to do frequent updates, I'm probably going to make that a row store instead. But in this case, I'm just going to do some reporting. So let's make it a column store. And I'm going to put the new name in here, like customer ID. And that's going to be, in this case, I'm going to make it an integer. And it's going to give it a dimension of let's say, I'm going to make it 1. I'm not going to have many customers then. That only allows me for 9 customers. But anyway, I can add another one, customer name. And in this case, I'm going to go in and make it, like character makes probably more sense in this case. And like make it 22 characters long. And once you create your table, you can just keep adding more and more stuff into these columns. When you finished, you go on this case, and it says let's execute that table. And it says created these customers, and now it's created. I have a new table called Berg customers data. So that's how you create tables inside HANA. The idea with a virtual table is much more interesting. If you create a new virtual table, what that allows you to do, it allows you, I'm not connected now, but if I was connected to another system, let's say an ERP system, or I was connected to another reporting system, I could go in the virtual table, and then it could be Sybase IQ for that matter, and I could go in here, and if my system was connected to something, it would say the sources that I have. And then I import that table into this view, and it works just like another HANA table. So if you think about that, that means that I can actually have real-time data warehousing inside HANA by having a list of virtual tables, physical table, and I can join those in views and then expose them to business object. So that is really an interesting concept. And for those who really want to dive in and see practical demos of this, please come and join me. I'll be speaking. I do the Jumpstart session at the HANA 2014 conference, and we'll do a 2-hour, I think it's actually a 3-hour workstart session, where I'm going to do an A to Z guide how to implement HANA, planning, scoping, staffing, budgeting, and executing. So I really hope to meet you there, and have a great day. Thanks.